Alright everyone, welcome. We are now back. This is the part 4, I believe, of our Dark Souls 1 Lorethrough. I haven't been able to make my controller overlay appear. Let me see if I can fix that, chat. Give me just 1 second. Okay, there we go. That should be working. Aha, it is working. Alright. You can now see my controller overlay, which I'm not sure how useful that is going to be, but it's another thing to look at, I suppose. So yeah, chat, here we are. I am making my way back to the bonfire in the catacombs for now. A lot has happened since the last episode. For starters, we are in the catacombs, which you may not remember how we got here in case you missed the last stream. But we are here to rescue Rhea of Tolerund. And we are going to do something quite dangerous, actually, like I said in the last episode. I am going to try and get to Rhea with a relatively low-level character. We're still soul level 31. I should probably use these souls that I have, honestly. Question now is, in what? What should I do? I suppose more health and endurance would be useful. I am going to need survivability to be down here. Yeah, let's go with health. Alright. Soul level 35. And let's try and get to Rhea. Let's take a sip of my coffee. Like I always do. The reason we're doing this is... well, there's 2 reasons, actually. Completely forgot to hit the record button. Sorry, chat. Anyway, I need to record footage for the Let's Play episodes as well. The reason why we are doing this is... first, slight roleplay reasons. Our character used to be a member of the Way of White, and they have decided to try and help Rhea. He felt the need to be involved in her quest, especially once he learned that she was abandoned by Petrus, you know. But for gameplay reasons, you could say we are doing this in order to gain early access to Rhea's inventory as a merchant, because she does sell a lot of miracles which will be very useful for us in the early game. And we also get replenishment by saving her, which is a very cool miracle to have. It will be useful in Blighttown. Oh, there is a skeleton here. We did have to do a bit of grinding in the last episode in order to get ourselves a divine weapon. Oh, a jump attack is a one-hit kill, interesting. But yeah, we had to do a bit of grinding in order to get this done, you know. But we did, and we got what we needed. We have a divine morning star right now. And we have some skeletons here. We've already played through this level, so all of the necromancers are dead. And Pinwheel has been defeated as well. He has been absolutely destroyed by Paladin Leroy in the last episode. I believe Leroy could have easily killed Pinwheel in 2 hits, in 2 shots. We did provide some help. We've dealt a little bit of damage to Pinwheel, if only to preserve our pride as a knight, you know. And this guy just clipped through the wall. Let's try and ignore that. Excuse me, chat. Oh, this is not good. I was about to... yeah. I was going to cough, and as soon as I took my hands off the controller, this bastard showed up. This son of a bitch, but that's fine. That's okay. Excuse me for a second, chat. Alright, there we go. I needed to cough so badly. That bastard, they are usually not aggroed so quickly. Not that I remember anyway, I might be misremembering this. But yeah, this is something interesting to do in case you're playing a faith build, you know. You can try and save Rhea quite early in your playthrough. Now I have to deal with these guys again. Okay. What about you? Take this. And have another. Alright. No reason not to heal up, I suppose. But we did explore through this area thoroughly. We got the Dark Moon Seance Ring from this secret area right here too. So, and the archer just broke the wall. Interesting. These guys again, man. Could you fuck off? Okay, you have got to be kidding me. A few as well. Yeah, have fun. Have fun with that. The necromancers are gone, so these guys will actually die to these explosions. Let's jump again. Like I was saying, this is something interesting to do if you're playing a faith build. Saving Rhea early not only thematically fits our build, I feel, it also serves to get us some very useful items early game. Now I've got to wait for these bastards to come over here again. Get rid of you. And we did get the chance to meet Paladin Leroy on our way down here, which is something I talked about on the very first episode. I like to think our character is a great admirer of Leroy. He grew up hearing stories about him, so having the chance to fight alongside Leroy was probably an interesting experience, to say the least. He was thrilled to have this opportunity, you know. Sir Antonius is quite happy. And also sad because Leroy is basically dead, right? I think the fact that we've met him down here, that he's still down here. Or actually, no, we don't know about that, do we? We have no way of knowing that. We, I mean, the character, not the players. Of course, as players, we know that Leroy has already been dead for quite a while. Or he dies later in the game, as we are trying to fight our way through the Tomb of Giants. Not this time, you bastard. Are you going to clip through the wall? No. So die. Thankfully, these guys will also disassemble into pieces every time you hit them with a strike weapon. Ooh. That's a lot of stamina damage. Okay. That works too. I should have unlocked the blacksmith, shouldn't I? I've just remembered that. Maybe we should do that. So I'm gonna kill some of these skeletons, just to make things easier on myself. Then we are going back and we are unlocking the blacksmith. What's his name? I completely forgot. Vamus, right? That's him. Vamus the blacksmith. So let's try that again. I do hear footsteps, but wheel skeletons cannot climb ladders, so they can follow me all they want. So no reason to not take our time and play slowly through this area. We do get a green Titanite shard on the way down to Vamus's workshop, so there is that for an incentive to go in there as well. Ah, and we do have a bonfire as well, don't we? That's right. We do have the new $50 bonfire. Yeah. Another hit. Oh, I didn't have enough stamina. You son of a gun. That was a nice dodge, I'll give you that. So we are going to have to backtrack a little bit, but should be worth it. Another sip from my coffee, and let's keep an eye out on the floating head, guys. I don't want to be blown up to pieces. Now, where can I find Vamus again? I believe it was, yeah, around this area here. Alright. Someone just threw themselves off of the bridge. Fine by me. I'm not complaining. Fine by me. Around here, right? Yeah. Just a few more enemies and we should be good to go. Alright. There we go. I'm listening for footsteps, but I don't hear anything. Okay. I admire the enthusiasm, that's for sure. Get rid of you. This is one of those jumps where... Sorry, that... Have I taken that item? How do I get that item, actually? I haven't properly explored this area, I've just realized that. Okay, let me try to get that item up there, and... then we'll see what we can do. I believe it involves jumping down here somewhere, right? Yeah. Ooh, I almost messed that up. Alright, here we go. And here we are, the Great Scythe. So let's read that. Weapon with a long curved blade. Converted from a wheat harvesting tool. The magnificent sharp curved blade instills fear in opponents. Perhaps it is their survival instinct at work. Because Death wields a scythe, right? That's the joke here, I believe. Does it inflict bleed? It doesn't. It does, actually. It does inflict bleed. Interesting. And we also got this in the last episode, the Lucerne, which I intend to use because it looks cool. And that's all the reason I need, you know? It's a very knightly looking weapon, and I like it. In Dark Souls 3, it does have a pretty cool moveset as well. So let's go back to our Divine Morningstar. Where do I have to jump? Here? Alright, here we go. I shouldn't have done that though, because I now have to backtrack again. Alright. So let's go back. I believe that was the last item we needed to complete this area. We also got the Cleric set. Yes, the Holy Robe. Which we are going to read in a second, as soon as I get back to where I was. Vamus is the blacksmith who can upgrade our weapons to fire, which is interesting. We can have... Oh, excuse me. I intend to have some fire weapons on this character as well. Fire in this game doesn't scale with anything, so... it is actually useful for any build, basically. For any character build, regardless of what your damage stats are. So the trick to get down there is to just walk, or rather run but not sprint on the first one. And I believe on the second one too, you just move forward but you don't sprint. A green shard on the way down. And should I heal? I mean, better safe than sorry, right? Let's heal up. And let's jump down. There we are. And cutscene.
Be gone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
Yeah, his voice does not match his face. His voice is weird. Be gone with you. I can't even make a proper impression. Dark Wraith ahead, is that so? Light this up. The also famous $50 bonfire. Behold, everyone. We've paid $50 for this. Well, you've paid $50, I've paid 90 Brazilian reais for this. Which is, in my opinion, quite expensive for such an old game, but whatever can we do, right? So this is Vamos, he is one of the blacksmiths from the game. He has a very humble workshop setup, as you can see. His heat comes from the lava which he has inside these coffins. Which, paired with the fact that he is the one who deals in fire weapons, and also he is the one who can make us, who can be gifted the fire embers from Izalith, makes me think he is in some way related to Izalith. Lost Izalith is quite near the Tomb of Giants, so I think there is more than just coincidence there. I would say Vamos is in some way related to Lost Izalith. How exactly? I have no idea.
What's that then? Need some smithing?
You could say so.
Produce me some wares.
Alright. Also, he is permanently pissed off for some reason. That's just his default mood, you know. He sells Homeward Bones, Titanite Shards, and arrows, which are useful. Do we need boats? I mean, might as well, right? How do I get a lot of them? Dark Souls 1 doesn't have a button to just give you increments of 10, right? When buying things. Yet another thing they could have added to the remastered, but too much work, right? Can we upgrade anything? We could upgrade our Morningstar, but I am saving these materials to make other weapons divine as well. Namely the Claymore and the Halberd. So we're not going to right now. Let's talk to him.
I'm here to smith, not to chit-chat.
He doesn't want to talk, apparently. Let's try again.
I've told you, I'm here for the trade, not for the talk.
Charming.
Enough with your presence. It disturbs me.
Just want to talk, man.
Well, you are a persistent one, are you not?
I am.
But I'm afraid I'm a mere blacksmith. It's just me and my trade. I would be of no help to a righteous warrior such as yourself.
Righteous warrior chat.
Well, you are, but
Alright, he's repeating his dialogue now. Interesting.
if that'll be all, then be gone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
He likes his work, I think it's safe to say that. And of course, if you are playing the Giant Dead build, one of your priorities is to get here to get a Fire Zweihander as soon as possible, right? Did we sit at the bonfire? Or did we just light it up? Because I wasn't planning on sitting on it, actually. I would prefer to... Should I just run past these guys? I am sincerely considering just running past these guys. Yeah. There is one, but I don't see any others, so I don't think I have set at the bonfire. Oh. Okay, there's 3 of these guys. I am going to just run past, I think. Once I drop down to Pinwheel's arena, they won't be able to follow me anymore. The plan here is to save Rhea and then homeward bone my way back, without having to fight my way back to the catacombs, you know. Let's jump down. I don't think they can follow me here. Yeah, probably not. Just watch a blue skeleton roll its way into here, as I say that. We didn't stop to look at Pinwheel's arena very carefully the last time we were here, right? Weakness anywhere, yeah, indeed. Quite an easy boss. So he's got a bunch of books and a bunch of these blades. One interesting highlight, though, is what we have right here on his table, on this work table. He has a skeleton, but there is some sort of blade attached to its arm, where its hand should be. And I believe Vatividia, the loreman himself, has pointed out that it kind of looks like a Gravelord sword. So it makes you wonder if he's creating Gravelord minions of some sort. I think this is just a classic trope of necromancer creating minions, you know, he's creating an army of skeletons to do something. What exactly, we are not so sure. It is somewhat implied that Pinwheel betrayed... What's his name again? Nito. He betrayed Nito. There seems to be a covenant of necromancers who serve Nito, and Pinwheel apparently abandoned this covenant. Alright, so here we are. The Tomb of Giants. There is a bunch of lights on the ground. These are prism stones, if I recall. Which, again, just a little bit of environmental storytelling, as always. Someone has been here before. Likely these were dropped by Rhea and her bodyguards on her way down. And we have a skeleton there. Check how scary these guys are in the dark. Look at this, chat. Look how terrifying this is. This is not a horror game, I would like to remind you. Yeah, I hate it. So do we go lightning? I think we go lightning. I am going to equip my talisman on the right hand. And zap this guy. And attack, because I can break his poise if I am fast enough. Ooh, not good. Okay. I can tank through one attack. I should keep that in mind. The problem is they gain hyper armor with that attack, where they grab their blades with both hands and slam it on the ground, you know. They get some crazy hyper armor. I can easily break their poise, but not to interrupt that one attack in particular. Can I hit this guy? Wrong button. Alright. Can I hit you again, sir? Yes, thank you. Ah, you son of a gun. Get back here. This is the challenging area, honestly. This is where things get difficult. I could just jump down here and then run away. And I think I'm going to do that, actually. So let's jump here. And I'm dead? Yeah, I'm dead. Can I jump back up? Please? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, okay. That was scuffed as hell. That was the most scuffed way I have ever done this before. Completely on accident. The plan was to jump down and then run here before the skeleton got to me. Well, if it works, chat. I'm not going to complain. So I could go down here and light the bonfire. The thing is, I'm not sure if doing this will link me to that bonfire, and I would like to homeward my way out of the Tomb of Giants as soon as I save Rhea. So we are not going to light the bonfire, actually. We are instead going to talk to this curious-looking man here. This man who is just standing alone on the catacombs. In the Tomb of Giants, sorry. What is he doing here, I wonder?
Good day. You look reasonably sane. What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something?
A cleric? No, no, my good sir. I am a knight.
No? Really?
Indeed.
Then I'd have no qualms telling you. There's a fine stash of treasure right down that hole. I found it first, but, well, we're friends now. So I'll split it with you. In any case, have a look. It'll shimmer you blind.
Well, what's the worst that could happen, right? A treasure, he says. There does seem to be some items down there. This son of a bitch.
This is what I do, my friend. The trinkets I'll be stripping off your corpse, that's the real treasure.
This bastard. Well, we're down here now. We do have some items around here, so... Another soul of a knight. I did talk a lot in the last episode about how most of the souls we find in the catacombs are knight souls. Which obviously implies that these were knights who tried to retrieve the Rite of Kindling and failed and were defeated. Another one. And a skull lantern, which you already have one. You can trade the skull lantern to the crows in the Undead Asylum for something which I don't remember what it is, but it is one of the unique trades. Which reminds me, we have to go to the Northern Undead Asylum as soon as we can. It will probably be our next destination, actually. So let's tread carefully through here. And there she is. There is Rhea. And there is also a silhouette beyond the darkness just ahead. Can you guys see it? Again, it disappears in the dark, but once we raise our light, there it is. Ominous. So let's talk to her.
You're no hollow, are you?
I am not.
Thank goodness. Please be careful. There are two fierce hollows not far from here.
Are there?
They were once brave knights, my former escorts. Who would let such strong spirits be hollowed so? Heavens, is there nothing at all to be done? You're no hollow.
Okay, she doesn't say anything else. Two brave hollows. So we are going to put these guys to rest. I am going to use the halberd instead of the Morning Star, because reach is going to be important for this boss fight. And I have to get this first try, because if I don't, I'm going all the way back to the catacombs, because I didn't sit at the bonfire right at the start of the level here. We should be able to do it though. Am I medium rolling? I am, alright. These guys are quite slow and predictable. And here they come. There's one hit. Oh, not a lot of damage, but... Oof. I underestimated his reach. Okay, there's two. Man, I can see these guys. That's scary. Oh, okay. That's force. It's not Wrath of the Gods, thankfully. Have to be careful not to fall down here. Another hit. Easy does it. Easy does it. Another hit. Let's force again. Yeah, this guy is about half down, half his way down. Yeah, take this. They can heal though, so I should be careful about that. Come on. Is he gonna try to heal? Ooh. Not healing yet. Interesting. Come on. Yeah, take this. How do you like that? Their shields are quite good though. They don't have Estus, interestingly though. They only have healing miracles. Which I feel like they should have Estus. They are undead, right? Even before they hollow. I mean, they wouldn't hollow if they weren't undead, so... yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm afraid of falling down the hill here. Okay. Okay, that's one down. I can just attack this guy, can't I? Yeah, there we go. That's two of them down. Very easy to outreach them with a long weapon. So there we go. I feel like I did get close to rolling down to my death at some points. Or maybe not. It's hard to tell with how dark this place is. So let's speak to her again.
You banished those two hollows, did you?
I did.
It pains me to think of the trouble my failings have caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nyoko are grateful to you. Thank you so very much.
Don't mention it.
These belonged to them. You deserve them more than I.
And she gives us a miracle, replenishment.
I am certain that both Vince and Nyoko are grateful to you. Thank you so very much.
Alright.
I am certain that
Again, this all fits very nicely with our characters. Roleplay we have going on. We rescued Rhea, and we helped put two fallen members of the church back to rest. Now, I could keep exploring this area, maybe gather the very large white ember, or divine ember, I think it's called. But again, this place is dark, navigating through here is difficult, I am underleveled, I'm out of here. We have done what we came to do, there is no reason to linger. We will be back here later in the game, so let's get out of here. I could have spoken with Patches actually, well, never mind. Guess we're not doing that anyway. It wouldn't make any difference because his quest doesn't advance until we defeat Nito, so... it really doesn't make any difference talking to him now or later. He would gift us a... I believe twin humanities is the item he would give us, which is more or less implied to be the souls of, or the humanities I should say, of... what are their names again? Vico and Nito, or Vic and Ian. Rhea's bodyguards is what I'm trying to say, those two guys, with the ugly looking haircuts. It is implied that he just got these humanities from them. But then he would just stay there until we came back and defeated Nito, and only then he would move to Firelink Shrine. So it's okay if we didn't advance his quest right now. Let's fight our way back to Firelink Shrine and meet with Rhea there, because she does have the NPC ability of teleporting around, thankfully. I pressed the wrong button there, but it worked alright in the end. This is where we got invaded by a ghost in the last stream as well, which was quite the experience. The archer fell down, alright. We're back here. Yeah. No reason to fight these guys as well, let's just get out of here. Here we go. Can I zap these guys? Yeah. I have lightning, so might as well use it, right? Make things faster for us. Yeah, just stay there, sir. Just stand there for me, please. And there you go, chat. That's the catacombs and the very beginning of the Tomb of Giants at a low level. And we will get some nice rewards because of that. Out of my way, thank you. I could sit at the bonfire, but let's just keep going. We are almost back at Firelink Shrine, so no reason to delay this any further. Get rid of these guys. There we go. And these guys too. Out of my way. No sir, no thank you. One-shot this guy. I think I got him in instability frames. That's why I one-shot him. It's one of these mechanics that I'm not sure if they came back in Dark Souls 2 and 3. At least I've never heard anyone talking about instability in those games. Let's make this guy blow up. There we go. Instability is... during certain moments, your character is considered to be unstable. And during these moments, ouch, your character takes extra damage, and quite a lot of extra damage actually. I believe a damage multiplier is applied to your character during instability frames. And there's a ton of situations which would place you in instability. One of them being staggered. If you are hit while you are staggered, you take more damage. Another one is having your guard broken. You can't riposte enemies like you do in Dark Souls 2 and 3 once you break their guard, but you can hit them for extra damage anyway. And then if you are using a weapon which you don't have the appropriate strength requirements, the animation your character does, where they kinda like struggle to swing the weapon, during that animation you are also in instability, so you are also taking extra damage during those moments. So you gotta be careful. And the cool thing is, all of that applies to the enemies as well. It doesn't apply only to the player. Let's explore this graveyard because we haven't done so properly yet, and we do have a stronger weapon now, so we can deal with these guys more easily. Yeah, see? Oh, and another significant thing, I suppose, is weapons that have the whiff animation, so things like the halberd, for example. Notice how my character whiffs when I miss an attack. I kinda stumble forwards, you know? This right here also puts me in instability, so for PvP this can be somewhat dangerous. If you're fighting a very good player who knows how to exploit that, you might be in trouble. You have to be very precise with your attacks. If you're not, you are just giving them extra damage for free. And again, I'm not sure this mechanic returned in Dark Souls 2 and 3. I believe it didn't. Because, well, one of the main ways of hitting the enemy during instability was breaking their guard, and starting at Dark Souls 2, you can now riposte enemies whose guards is broken. Okay. Again, these guys get crazy hyper armor during that attack. And they're dead. Okay. So starting from Dark Souls 2, you can just riposte enemies after you break their guards. So I think they figured this mechanic wasn't necessary anymore, you know? They just got rid of it. Which is a shame, because it was quite interesting to deal more damage after kicking the enemy, for example. Zweihänder. Lots of ton items. I will read their description in a moment, don't worry. And here we have the binoculars. Alright. And a nice view too of the city which surrounds Lorethrough. Or the cities, I should say. it dawned on me that... Well, it didn't dawn on me, I researched it. Burg means basically a military settlement. A burg is a place created with the intention of having some civilians in order to manage day-to-day tasks, but it is there mainly to be a fortification, right? It's a fortress with just enough civilian life to allow for functioning as well. So the Undead Burg is not just a city, it is a military base, a military place as well. A place of military interest is what I'm trying to say. And this all looks to me like the Undead Burg, you know? It's all the same architecture and it is all surrounded by the same walls, so... It makes sense, you know, geographically saying and historically too. Anor Londo is surrounded by these cities which aren't really here for population purposes. They are here mainly to protect Anor Londo, to be a first line of defense against invaders. Which links very nicely to what I've said multiple times already about how Anor Londo was invaded by both Baldur and Berenik once the Curse of the Undead reached those places too. But yeah, we did pick up a lot of items, so let's read the description on those. We've got the... Or is it? The Zweihander, which we might use in this build, we'll see. Zweihander, one of the gigantic straight swords. As the name suggests, the Zweihander is held in two hands, but its wielder must still be inhumanly strong. It is this great weight that sends foes flying when... Oh, excuse me. It is this great weight that sends foes flying when it hits solidly. This thing is awesome. And I can use it in two hands, interesting. I might just use this, because I love it this much. It's awesome. If you use this thing in the early game, you can absolutely destroy early game bosses. I'm not even kidding. You can stun lock the Taurus Demon and the Capra Demon quite easily. This thing melts through early game bosses. I am, however, fat rolling. Yeah, figured. This is quite heavy. We might use it, we'll see. We also got the binoculars, which in this game is a item, not a equipable quote-unquote weapon like in Dark Souls 2. Binoculars used to peer at distant scenery. Binoculars made of brass used to peer at distant scenery. Excuse me, chat, a car just sped its way through my street here. I hope you didn't hear that. So, binoculars. This advanced device was built by a famous craftsman of Astora. Its utility is singular, but its applications many. The value of these specs depends greatly on the imagination of their owner. You can use these to more or less manually aim with a crossbow. It's a bit difficult to do, but you can use this to... I'm trying to shoot that archway. Yeah, it didn't work this time. As I am trying to demonstrate it, I fail miserably. Yeah, see? I got it. I hit the column there. Your shots will always land at the very center of the screen, so you can place your target at the center of the screen, like the very top of that column there, and then switch to your weapon and shoot, and it should work, more or less. Much easier to do in Dark Souls 2, where you can equip your binoculars in one hand, aim with it, and then fire with whatever you have on the other hand. But yeah, here we are home, everyone. We are back home.
Oh, hello there. I'm pleased to see you safe, as always. If you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy.
We are trying to upgrade our pyromancy flame as well, to +10 at least. But I will have to hold on that. Sorry, to hold off on that for now. I apologize, chat. I completely forgot to silence my phone again. It's the second stream I do that. Come on, man. Get your shit together. There's a badass looking dude here. Curved sword on the offhand and great sword on the main hand. This guy is a PvPer if I've ever seen one. Cool combo. Let's repair our stuff. And let's speak to Petrus, see what he has to say for himself. Seeing as we have rescued Rhea.
Oh, it's you.
It is.
You rescued milady.
I have.
Well, a pity that is, for it will amount to nothing. For the little madam is not worth her salt without her family name.
I am going to
Come again.
bash your face in right now.
What is it, fool?
Yeah.
Driven to madness by emotion? So be it. You'll make a fine
Will I?
hollow. You can waltz in the infernal depths together.
Stop using force, man. Take this. Yeah, block. Keep blocking. Ouch. Man, he dealt no damage to me. Can I parry him? I'm gonna parry him. Oh, he's gonna try and heal, isn't he? Alright, sure, go on. Heal. Do it. Change your mind, have you? Hit me. There you go. Mace to the face.
Why?
Cindy is praising the sun right now, yeah.
What did I do wrong?
As we defeat this bastard, we praise the sun. There we go. He tried to have Rhea killed and now he paid for it. If you don't kill Petrus here, he will actually kill Rhea later on, which is not a good way to go about things if you want to complete her quest. Or if you want to have her as a merchant, which she's much more useful as a merchant than Petrus is. So Petrus drops 2 humanities, and that's it. Rhea is now located up there. By the way, hi Cindy. Nice to have you here as always. Let's praise the sun one more time. Once more, chat. Rhea is now up here in the Undead Parish. She is a bit shy. She mentions on the fact that Firelink Shrine is a bit too populated for her. And she now acts as a merchant. At least until the next trigger for her quest is activated. Which is quite far off, so we don't have to worry about that just yet.
Hello. I will never forget what you did. I am
You better.
deeply indebted. For it was not within my power to save Vince or Nyoko. I cannot thank you enough.
Vince and
In
Nyoko.
case you have not heard, I am Rhea of Thoroland. I only wish there was some way I could help you.
You can help me.
But I am inexperienced and I only know the art of miracles. If that could be of any help, speak to me again.
That's exactly what I was expecting, actually.
Would a miracle be of any help to you?
It would.
I would be most pleased if that was so. May we discuss miracles then?
Alright, so we can join the Way of White with her, which we are not going to. She sells divine blessings and a bunch of miracles, including some miracles which Petrus didn't sell. She sells all the miracles sold by Petrus, for a lower price I might add, and she also sells some unique miracles too. So we've already read, have we read? Heal? I think we haven't actually. Heal. To cast a miracle, the caster learns a tale of the gods. I believe we have read this actually. I've commented on how it's interesting that miracles are essentially your character reciting a story and then a manifestation of this story happens, you know? And depending on how much of the story you recite, the stronger the miracle will be. Which is why we have something like Great Heal, which is the full tale, you know, the complete story. Great Heal. Great miracle cast by advanced clerics, restores high HP. Great Heal is a long tale, only learned by a select few. No caster will be disappointed by the bountiful life that it yields. So this thing heals a lot of your HP. You would have to have a pretty high HP for it to not heal you completely, actually. And she also sells this, Wrath of the Gods. Primal form of force creates a powerful shockwave. Wrath of the Gods was an epic tale that tethered over time and evolved into the modern Force. This primal form of Force emits a shockwave that also inflicts damage. So Force is a variation of Wrath of the Gods, actually. This quick-acting miracle inflicts no damage but propels foes back and defends against arrows. Cleric Knights use this miracle when charging into enemy mobs. You can use Force, by the way, and Wrath of the Gods to parry projectiles, including things that are normally not parryable. Although, in Dark Souls 1, all projectiles are not parryable, so I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but you get the idea. You can deflect magic and other cool stuff, which we might do later. Seek Guidance and Magic Barrier. Seek Guidance, miracle of clerics on an undead mission. Display more guidance from other worlds. Guidance facilitates communication between undead, but their value varies greatly. A balance of faith and wisdom is required. In other words, if you see a message saying treasure ahead right next to a cliff, don't jump. It's basically Dark Souls lesson number 1, you know? And we also have this Magic Barrier. Miracle of Bishop Havel the Rock. Cover body in defensive magic coating. This coating greatly boosts magic defense, assisting warriors who must face the magic which Bishop Havel countered so proficiently. Havel was a known magic hater. He didn't like Sif the Scaleless very much, so he purposefully learned ways to counter magic, which is, you know, interesting. It's the classic RPG trope. We have the big heavy warrior who doesn't like magic and is very proficient at countering magic. We are going to eventually buy all of these. Right now, however, I have very little souls, so we are not going to. Not yet, anyway.
Vince and Nyoko were fooled by a lout named Hatches and turned into hollows. My prayers did them no good. It is my ignorance, my frailty that has sealed their fates. Perhaps Petrus realized my weakness all along, and thus made the decision to abandon me.
Oh, you don't have to worry about Petrus anymore. I don't think she ever realized that Petrus is dead, because she has no comment about that.
Vince and Nyoko,
yeah, same dialogue. So she's completely ignorant of the fact that we've just saved her life, basically. Barrier Nox, I fear the night, or I fear the dark, as some people in chat have pointed out. Alright, so what to do now? Greetings, by the way, chat. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. Quite a lot of people ringing the bell, apparently, which is interesting. There is always a lot of activity here. I believe we are going to pay Andre a visit right now. And we are going to upgrade our stuff. Not upgrade, but... Could you guys... Okay, we just took some counter damage here, but that's okay. I'm going to modify some of my weapons into divine weapons, so that we can keep upgrading them as we find more green shards. We don't need a blacksmith to upgrade our stuff, but we do need a blacksmith to enchant our stuff, to make it elemental. I won't even sit at the bonfire, there's no need to. Andre, my guy, I require your services.
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
And after I do this, I believe I am going on a short break. We could make it regular +6. I will do that with my sword, actually, because I intend to make it lightning infused later. So yeah, longsword +6, but then claymore into divine claymore, and halberd into divine halberd. There we go. Oh, and also crossbow +6, because no point into infusing our crossbow, I believe. It is a purely physical weapon. Can I upgrade anything? I can upgrade the claymore or the halberd. Let's go halberd for now. That should do it. Can I buy anything? Should I buy anything? I don't need bolts, I believe. I think we're good.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Alright. So like I said, chat, we are going on a short break. I'll be back in a few minutes, and once I'm back, we are going to finish exploring the depths and possibly start our way into Blighttown. But that will be after I am back from my break, so see you guys in a moment. Alright, we are back, everyone. So where did we... Rather, where were we? Is the question. Taking a moment to look at chat. Cindy. Nice to have you here, Cindy. Sending some emojis in chat. Always excited. So... we have a few decisions to make because... there are a different number of things which I would like. I need to have a +10 flame by the time we get to Blighttown. Preferably before, because I would prefer not to keep coming back and from in between the depths and Firelink Shrine. And the reason why we need the +10 flame is that I am trying to complete all of the quest lines in this game, in this playthrough. Which means we are going to complete... I believe her name is Quilana. No, Quilana is the spider lady we fight, right? The Daughter of Chaos, which teaches us pyromancy in Blighttown, and I completely forgot what she's called. Might be Quilana, I don't know. And we need a +10 flame in order for her to appear. On the other hand, I would like to have 30 points in Faith and Wrath of the Gods by the time we get there as well. Which might be asking too much, honestly. Probably. It's probably asking for too much. So I might have to compromise here. Speaking of miracles, let's read Replenishment, because we did get that from Rhea for saving her. Common miracles amongst cleric knights. Gradual HP restoration. Beware of the cleric knight blessed by replenishment, for he shall not fall easily. Interesting how this miracle belongs to both Vince and Nyoko, and yet they don't use it during their fight. Or if they do use it, it's... I've never seen it, you know. Might be a case of the NPC can use it, but the AI chooses to not use it in most situations. It does happen sometimes. Very interesting. We can pair it with Sanctus, which is the shield which recovers your HP gradually, and we can get some pretty decent passive HP regeneration. So yeah, which is something we might do later, actually. Let's make our way to the depths then. Which means we are going back to Firelink Shrine, then going into the aqueduct to the depths. Are you guys going to bother me? You are, aren't you? Let's use the halberd. 298 compared to 235. So even though the Morning Star is on a higher upgrade level... Man, I've got so many longswords by now. Get away from me. The way he spinned around before standing still. Alright. Like I was saying, even though the Morning Star... Another longsword? Okay. Even though the Morning Star is on a higher upgrade level, the halberd is still dealing more damage because it is quite a powerful weapon. This thing slaps. It's awesome. And it does deal thrust damage, so we can get some counterattacks with it too, which is quite nice. Oh, I know what we can do, chat. I've just realized it. We can go to the Northern Undead Asylum, actually, and get some extra souls that way. So let's go back down. And as we go back down, as we go down the elevator, our character will realize that he can just walk around here. He can just step out of the elevator into this little area here. Into this poorly textured area that seems to have a perfect line dividing different textures. Yeah. And then we can come over here. And you may notice there's an item over there. Try rolling, indeed. So do not jump, do not sprint, roll forward instead. And a medium roll does work, as you can see. May not work with a fat roll, but if that's the case, just unequip a few pieces of armor and try again. And now we can get that key. Well, we don't know that it's a key yet, but we can get this item here, which is a key, of course. Undead Asylum F2 West Key. What does F2 stand for, I wonder? Anyway. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Opens West Iron Bars of Undead Asylum F2. I think it's second floor, or floor 2. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway. Key to the iron bars on the west side of the second floor of the North Undead Asylum. The Undead Asylum is a giant undead prison segmented by countless iron bars. But even if a hero were to find the key in Lorethrough to liberate this prison, would he ever have the means or the heart to come back? I love the theatricality in this line, you know. Like, you have found the key which opens some door in the Undead Asylum. So the game is basically telling you, hey, you can go back to the asylum. As to how, good luck, man. Figure that out on your own, you know? It's so good, man. So cool. Wish more games did that nowadays. And also of course, the narrative implication here, right? Even if you find the means to go back, do you have the heart to do it? Because this was your prison, you know? Do you want to go back? And the answer is, of course, yes. Yes, we do. So let's go to the elevator again. And once again, let's step out of the elevator on this little platform here. And let's do the same parkour trick as before. Go forward, except this time, we are going up these stairs here. You have to wonder, how did players figure these things out on their own, you know? I mean, well, people figure things out eventually, right? Some people are quite curious and quite good at testing things out, so it's not that surprising really, but it's something that would hardly happen. Not never, but would probably not happen with modern games, I feel. So let's approach this nest, which is the nest belonging to that crow down there. Where is it? Can we see it from here? We can see its tail down there. There he is. And let's curl up like a ball. Difficult word to pronounce there. Curl up like a ball. Alright. And now we just chill here for a few minutes. So, how are you doing, chat? How has your weekend been? I mean, it's Saturday still, but how's your family? There we go. Enough chit-chat. So the crow is going to mistake us from one of its eggs, and it will take us back to the asylum. Why does it take eggs back and forth between the asylum? I'm not sure. I don't know what's the logic here. And there we go. And we are back. Just like that, chat. We are back to the Northern Undead Asylum. Except it is a bit different since the last time we've been here. There are some hollows using torches now, which are quite dangerous. Can I shoot this guy in the chest? I can. Damn it. Stop strafing. My crossbow doesn't like when you strafe. These guys can jump at you from quite the long distance, so we have to be careful. Yeah. Bam. Shot in the chest. How much damage are we doing with the crossbow, by the way? 165 damage. That's not bad, actually. Pure physical damage, too. Quite decent. So here we have a secret, which we couldn't interact with the last time we were here.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
And there we go. You can trade items with these invisible little crows here by dropping them on the ground. Which is yet another thing that makes me question, how did people figure this out, you know? How do people ever figure these things out? So what do I want here? You can drop these mosses, which heal poison and bleeding, or twinkling titanite, which will be useful later on. We do, however, have to quit out before picking the item back up. This is something which they fixed in Dark Souls 2 and 3. Possibly it was more of a engine limitation in Dark Souls 1, I would believe.
You give me warm, give me soft.
Alright, alright. I've never thought about that really, Twinkling Titanite. But I'm guessing Dark Souls 1 can't load new items until it goes through a loading screen. So that's why you have to either quit the game or go back to Firelink Shrine, then back to the Asylum, you know? And it's easier to just quit the game, so. But thankfully in Dark Souls 2 and 3 we can just give the item and we immediately receive its corresponding trade.
You give me warm.
Right. Another Twinkling Titanite, and if we give it a blooming moss, we get 2 Twinkling Titanites, I believe. So let's do that. We are going to use armor later in the game, which requires Twinkling Titanite to upgrade, so it is going to be quite useful at some point. And we might also...
Give me.
Are we going to use any weapons which take Twinkling Titanite? We might use the Astora straight sword, but it is not that useful really. Ah, there's the Crescent Axe, which I would like to use. Does the Crescent Axe need Twinkling Titanite? I can't remember. I believe you can drop cracked red eye orbs as well, and you get humanities in return. Let's check it out. Let's try it out. We'll see. No, Purging Stone actually, which we... It's the first one we ever get, right? So here we go, Purging Stone. Ash-colored stone encasing a skull. Secret treasure of Arstor, the Earl of Karim. Reduces curse build-up and breaks curse. Humans are helpless against curses, and can only redirect their influence. The Purging Stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. We might have read this item description when we defeated the gargoyles and talked to the priest who appears there at the church. But yeah, there you go. What else can we do? Ah, rubbish, right, you can drop this. That's the one use for the rubbish item actually. You can get Titanite chunks, I believe. And we could drop a Sunlight Meadow as well to get the white Titanite chunk. So Titanite chunk, and if we drop one of these, it pains me to drop one of these because we are trying to get as many as we can, but we have plenty, so should be okay. And this will get us a white Titanite chunk. Yeah, there we go, which will be useful later on. So there you go. You can also drop it a humanity and you will get a Ring of Sacrifice, I believe, but we're good. We don't need to do that. So here we are, back at the Asylum, and something tells me to not step forward. Danger zone ahead, indeed, quite dangerous. Something is telling me to take a right here and go this way. I don't know what it is, chat. I just have a feeling, you know. I should not step forward there at the center of the Great Hall, basically. So that's a significant change we have. Let me remove the fire bombs, actually. We have those guys now. For some reason, a bunch of Black Knights have appeared here, which really reinforces this idea that lots of people seem to believe that these guys are still sentient. They are not just spirits haunting the armor, you know. They are still sentient and they are still following orders somehow. They are searching for you, basically. They are searching for the chosen undead. Why? I have no idea. I don't think they would be trying to stop you. Oh, I lowered my shield a little bit too early there. So let's heal. Yeah. Parry. There we go. I don't think they would be trying to stop you, because if they are still loyal to Gwyn, that is. Because the gods want you to complete your quest, right? Ooh, red stack and a chunk, nice. The gods want you to complete your quest, right? They want you to mistakenly kindle the first flame, thinking that you are going to eventually replace Gwyn, whereas in reality you are giving yourself as fuel to keep the flame burning for just a little longer, right? So that's what the gods want to do, so... Oh, right, and we have Oscar here. I should probably talk about that. Oscar has hollowed away, unfortunately. Do not kick me, how dare you. Just because you're hollow doesn't mean I won't kick your teeth in. Ouch. Okay, you are not dealing a lot of damage to us. Yeah, no. Dead? Yeah, dead. 2 reposts back to back. And for that we get the crest shield. So let me finish my train of thought, then we'll talk about the crest shield. I see 2 possibilities here as to why the Black Knights are here. They are not serving the gods still, because they will not be trying to stop you. They will not be trying to stop your quest if they were still serving the gods, as in Gwendolyn, who is still running the show, basically. So I believe they are either following Gwyn's orders. Gwyn, after sacrificing himself to the first flame, may have realized the error in his ways and realized the futility of preserving the Age of Fire. So he sent his Black Knights, or whatever remains of his Black Knights, to try and stop you. He does not want the first flame to be kindled anymore, which is also why Gwyn fights you once you reach the first flame, right? Okay, I completely forgot this was still here. It's kind of scared me. Damn it. But yeah, Gwyn may have realized the error in his ways and is now trying to stop you from realizing, from fulfilling the prophecy of the chosen undead. Because he wants to let the flame die, which would also explain why he fights you at the very end of the game. This is something which I've always wondered. If the gods want you to restart the first flame, then why does Gwyn fight you? And the answer could just be that he's insane. He is not hollow because he doesn't have dark in him, so he can't be hollow. But he is insane, you know. Either that, or second alternative is the Black Knights are no longer following Gwyn's orders, and after getting burned to a crisp, after having followed Gwyn to the first flame and having been burned to a crisp as a consequence, because they were standing near Gwyn when he reignited the first flame, they have decided to basically act on their own and are now trying to stop you from rekindling the first flame, you know. The Black Knights, or their spirits at least, have lost faith in the gods. And they are now trying to stop the prophecy from coming to fruition, you know. This might be another possible explanation. Although the idea of Gwyn changing his mind, having a change of heart after everything is said and done, right? It does... I don't know, it pulls at the right strings, you know, in my storyteller heart. Rusted Iron Ring. So this is what we got from that key we found in Firelink Shrine. Let's check this out. Oh, it's not a key, you stupid. It's a ring. There we go. Improves balance on par footing. This iron ring was used to shackle the guilty. It is terribly rusted and faintly stained with blood. Those who find this strange ring to their liking will be pleased to find it easier to gain footing on par grounds such as swamps. So it basically removes the slow movement penalty we get when walking through shallow water or mud. Which is yet another mechanic which never returned. I mean, you still move slowly through water in Dark Souls 2 and 3, but there is no item to counter that mechanic in those games. And I've just heard a demon. Can we hear it? Oh, it went quiet now. Yeah. But we did hear a demon there. There he is. Which again is quite an interesting detail. Imagine you as a new player thinking to yourself, I've already killed the demon, so why is that guy still there, you know? Why do I still hear a demon actually? And the answer to that is, there is another. Like Yoda himself would say. So let's go back to our cell and see if anything changed since we've been away. I suppose we can also just look here and see that there is a demon there. So it may not be that much of a surprise, you know. We can clearly see this guy there. And we have another Black Knight just ahead. So let's fight this guy. Face me. Get parried, sir. You would be threatening, but you're not so easy to parry, my friend. Yeah, I don't think so. Wanna try that again, sir? I'll give you another try. Nope, last chance. That was your last chance. Red Titanite chunk. No Black Knight weapons on this character yet. I can't help but realize that. I don't like it. Not that I would use these weapons anyway, they would not fit this build. They work best on a dedicated physical damage build. And we have another corpse which wasn't here before. I can't take this. I did it. Yeah, you did. Must be a New Game Plus message. Let's rate this guy. And let's pick this up. Peculiar doll. Interesting. Where is it? It's a key item right here. A strange doll in a strange dress. There once was an abomination who had no place in this world. She clutched this doll tightly and eventually was drawn into a cold and lonely painted world. So Priscilla too was at some point locked away into this place. Either that or an undead which acquired her doll was locked away in here. Possibly someone who knew her. We always assume Priscilla was locked away in here, but we have no way of knowing for sure, right? So now that everything is done, let's fight that guy. Which is quite a fun boss fight to do at an early level. You might be hearing some background noise as usual, that's just my wife arriving home. Please don't mind the chat. Pay it no mind, please. Hi, hun. So there she is, chat. There she is. Alright, I'm about to fight this stray demon. I was just deconstructing the lore of the entire franchise, basically. And now we're gonna fight the stray demon. So let's preferably roll forward. There we go. This guy can be quite dangerous due to his weird hitbox, or rather, the weird hitbox on his AoE attack. It is deceptively... Excuse me, I can't speak English. deceptively large, is what I was trying to say. That was supposed to be a jump attack. Okay, it's easier to run behind this guy because the hitbox is larger in front of him. Let's zap this guy actually. Yeah, that's some good damage. Stop retreating. Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah, take this. This is why I brought the Morning Star here. Have another one. Between the bleed procs and the lightning spears, we should be able to whittle this guy down to 0 health eventually. He is meant to be fought at a much higher level, I feel, because we do very little damage to him right now. But again, bleed is OP, so who cares? I care not about levels. I have bleed and lightning. And he has a weird lingering hitbox, apparently. Stop retreating, you coward. Yeah, see, that's a dangerous combo right there. Danger, danger, danger. Alright. Heal. Yeah, that's not going to hit me. Let's try not to get hit by the lingering hitbox. There we go. Yeah. This might hit us. It didn't. Okay. I was able to narrowly escape it. Let's just hide here. Because I know it works. Stop doing that. Jump attack. Okay. Get behind him. 2 more hits. Bleed proc. Yeah. Look at the damage, guys. Look at how strong bleed is in this game. Awesome. Another lightning spear. And we are almost done here. Do not do this to me right now. You bastard. Take this. And another one. Yeah, how do you like this? And we did it. The stray demon is no more. GG, thanks. Quite a fun boss fight for a low-level build like this one. And we got a Titanite slab for that. One of the 3 available slabs in the game. Only 2 if you don't count the DLC as well. Titanite slab for weapon reinforcement. Legendary slabs were the domain of the gods. Reinforces standard weapons to +15 and crystal or lightning weapons to +5. Legendary slabs are the heirlooms of a nameless blacksmith deity who forged the weapons of the other gods. Weapons forged with this slab become rare legendary weapons. Cool. It will be quite a while until we can use this, but still, it's nice to have it. And more importantly, we got some nice souls from killing this guy as well. 27k souls. And now we can jump down here. Alright. So we should be able to reinforce our pyromancy flame to +10 like I was planning earlier. And that's it. That's all we can do here. We can come back eventually to trade more items with the crows, but I don't think we're going to. Or if I do that, it's probably going to be off-screen. No reason to do it on stream, honestly. Can I repair my stuff? I wouldn't mind having another attunement slot, but that's 14, not that much investment. I am going for it actually. And 20 faith as well, sounds good. Alright, and I'm going to save these other souls we have here. Let me go Morning Star, no, not Morning Star, Claymore, just to play around with it. Backstab. Caught you lacking. Take this. So we talked about how Gwyn might have had a change of heart right at the very last moment. After realizing that there was no true way to keep the flame lit. He would have to keep sacrificing himself over and over again. He may have given up, right? Which is interesting to think about, because we do understand this whole cycle a lot better after playing through Dark Souls 3. In that game we learned that those who sacrifice themselves to the flame, well, usually they are just consumed by it, right? And this is possibly what happens to our character here. Once we give ourselves as kindling to the flame, we are completely consumed by it. But there are certain individuals who survive this process, who are able to not be completely consumed by the flame. And these are the guys who we call Lords of Cinder in Dark Souls 3. And the cool thing is, even though the concept of a Lord of Cinder was only introduced in Dark Souls 3, here in this game, in Dark Souls 1, when we fight Gwyn, his name as a boss, the name above his boss, his HP bar, is Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. So I believe Miyazaki had this in mind from the very beginning, actually. At the very least, he understood the idea that Gwyn would be different, that he wouldn't be the same after being changed by the flame. Which really reinforces the idea that maybe Gwyn realized that there was no point in keeping the flame lit, you know. After realizing what the flame had done to him, he realized, yeah, there's no point to doing this. And maybe that's why he attacks us once we get to the flame, because he is trying to stop us from making the same mistake that he did. It's what I think anyway. It may or may not be true, but it does sound incredibly appropriate, I think is the word I'm looking for. And again, might also explain why we find Black Knights in this game. They are still following what were possibly the final orders of Gwyn. To stop the Chosen Undead, do not allow him to complete the prophecy. And ironically, Gwyn's children are trying to get the prophecy complete. You know, they are trying to see the prophecy done, which is interesting. So yeah, lore, everyone. Lore. I love this game. I really do. I didn't mean to jump down here. I actually want to try and upgrade our pyromancy flame, as I said I would.
Oh, hello there.
Hello.
I'm pleased to see you safe.
Indeed.
As always, if you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy.
And by materials, he means souls. Is there any other pyromancy I would like to buy? I don't think so. Not for now, anyway. These are situational at best. So let's go +6, and I need more souls.
Goodbye then.
I think I'm going to just burn through these souls here, honestly. I do have plenty. Plenty night souls from the catacombs. And it's not a lot. A few more. Souls of nameless soldiers, maybe. That should be at least 2 levels, right?
Oh, as always.
Let's try that again. That's +8, and that's +9. No, that's +8. I need 10k for +9, and then who knows how much for +10. Damn it.
Goodbye then.
So we're gonna hold off on that for now, because the problem is upgrading the pyromancy flame also pushes me to a higher bracket of multiplayer, which might make it difficult. This guy is still here. Which might make it difficult for me to co-op with someone. And I would like to get some co-op in the depths before we move on into Blighttown. The Gaping Dragon is quite a fun boss to fight against. So let's make our way through the depths. Let's use the Claymore and shoot this guy in the face with my crossbow. Quite an interesting weapon, very underrated in Dark Souls 1. Very interesting to get rid of pesky or annoying enemies. We are going to use a bow as well. Actually, but it's probably the only boss weapon on this character, is going to be able to. You can probably guess what weapon that is. But yeah, this character build doesn't really work well. Can I not have this right with me? Thank you. This character build doesn't really work well with boss weapons, unfortunately. But there is one in particular, which happens to be a bow, which we will be able to use. And that is going to be quite powerful on this build too. I wish I could use the Dragon Slayer Spear, but it is more of a Dex Faith build. Although it does require some strength to use too. It's a weird weapon in this game. It works better in Dark Souls 2 and 3. A bit of a strange weapon with the way the meta evolved, right, in Dark Souls 1. So yeah, we are once again in the depths. We have already unlocked the bonfire here, thankfully. So this should be just a quick trip there. I was looking at the other guy. Oh, there you. Okay. Right. Cut you in half, sir, with my great sword. I realized we didn't read the description for the crest shield, actually. It was the shield belonging to Oscar, so let's take a look. Crest shield. Shield of a nameless knight, likely a high-ranked knight of Astora. One of the enchanted blue shields. The crest shield greatly reduces magic damage. It didn't belong to a nameless knight, it belonged to Oscar of Astora. Damn it. Let's use it. It weights the same as the kite shield. Doesn't have as much stability, however. Interesting. Yeah, these shields are quite good, actually. The Tower Kite shield and the Caduceus shield, which are essentially the same item, right? They are just different skins, but their stats are exactly the same. They have very good stability, actually. We are using this, however. Which takes Twinkling Titanite to upgrade, so I suppose... Here we go. This is a weapon which requires Twinkling Titanite to upgrade. What the... How didn't that hit? Weird. Some weird hitbox shenanigans going on. Get rid of these guys. Out of my way. I should save on projectiles though, because I am going to need them in Blighttown. So let's take it easy with the crossbow. I am soul level 38, which is a bit high for Gaping Dragon, and I have a +9 weapon technically. +8, not +9. Come on. I don't have all day. Do it. There you are. Out of my way. Big on. Alright, take this. Oh, there's this guy too. There. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to equip another spell, because we do have an extra slot now. Let's try not to get eaten by these slimes or whatever the hell they are. Out of my way. Out of my way, sir. So here's what we can do. We can attune magic and equip the combustion pyromancy. And then I can place my summon sign down here. Hopefully someone will summon me, but I'm not hopeful, honestly. I'm really not. And let's go pyromancy flame instead of crossbow. It's an incentive to save on crossbow bolts, I suppose. Yeah, I knew you were going to jump at me. What? Yeah, that's the cool thing about Dark Souls 1. Enemies have similar movesets to you, actually. Humanoid enemies, at least, do. They can dodge and they get iframes as well. And they also get instability frames at the end of their dodge animation. I forgot to mention this earlier, but another case where you get instability is at the very last frames of your dodge. You get iframes, of course, but the final frames of the animation not only don't give you iframes, they also make you take extra damage. You do notice that in certain boss fights, sometimes you will hit the enemy at the end of their dodge animation and you will do a ton of damage for no reason. So there you go. No luck on the shards here. Let's do one more round of farming. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's cool. And another knight guy here. That's me. No, it's not me. He's wearing the open helm. I am going to turn human, to try to become human as well. Because there is an NPC invasion on this level and I would like to get it. And should we kindle? I suppose we might, right? Bring this bonfire to 10 Estus at least. I find that 10 Estus is more than you need, honestly. Unless you're going for something extremely difficult, you know. Like, I really don't know this boss's pattern and the level is quite difficult, so I need the extra Estus, the extra healing. Let's do one more round of farming on these guys, and then we are going to keep advancing through the level. Yeah, not this time. Hopefully we will get some co-op before we end the stream. Okay, that guy missed me completely. Not sure how he managed that. These guys are extremely weak to fire, so... I mentioned this in the previous stream, but I love this farming spot, I really do. I really have to make another low-level Sunbro character and do only this, you know? Just stay here, helping people fight the dragon and farming for shards, you know? And humanity from the rats too, you can do that as well. So, no luck there. Let's make our way down. I believe... no, not here. You like this spot too, Cindy? Do you like farming humanity from the rats? I believe you do, you've told me once. You like killing the rats. Okay, I meant to hit the one in front of me, but he dodged. Rats have iframes too, would you look at that? And we gain a humanity, yay. Yep, yeah, so Cindy likes killing rats. You've heard it here first, folk. Get away from me, filthy rat. And speaking of rats... yeah. Not today, sir, not today. Can we get this guy? Yeah, we can. Before they jump off, that is. So there's an item there, and there's some guys over here. We have already taken care of the giant rat as well, and taken, you know, all the items in that little area there. So we should be good in this regard. I suppose I am going to clear the level, and then we might end the stream there once we do, after the gaping dragon has been defeated. So let's just explore the level for now. And my summon sign has disappeared, so no more co-op. I haven't defeated the channeler though, so this would be interesting. Can I lure the rats? I suppose I can. Let me zap this one. And that one. These rats are dangerous, by the way. Okay, this one will aggro as soon as I approach the stairs. Yeah. They have a very weird moveset. It's kind of hard to not take damage. I can block this guy. Yeah, I can. My shield has magic resistance, you bastard. Who are you buffing? There's no one here. Gets unlocked. Oh, he gets pushed away when I hit him. That's dangerous. What attack is that? Punish. Bastard. Another one. And there we go. Trident? No. We wouldn't be this lucky, right? Of course not. We get the trident early in the game. No items here. one item here, actually. A large shard, nice. This guy would, of course, as you know, buff the boss if we didn't kill him here. And would also constantly fire soul arrows at us during the boss fight, which can be quite annoying. Not unmanageable, since the Gaping Dragon is quite a simple boss, but still dangerous for a new player. Get back here, sir. Any rats here? I don't think so. I might actually equip the crossbow here, yeah. I know I said I would save on crossbow bolts. And I will actually, I'm not gonna shoot these guys. I was going to, but... How about I do the thing I said I would do? How about that? Let's switch back to the pyromancy plane, actually. Because there is another slime guy right over here. Out of my way. Still not quite sure how these guys are weak to fire, seeing as how wet they are. You would think that an enemy that is covered in water wouldn't be flammable, but who knows? Maybe they are covered in oil or something like that. Maybe they are quite flammable. Once again, Miyazaki, explain. I demand an explanation, sir. Let's jump over this hole. Right, we did it. This place is always very confusing. Okay, so this is where I was before. I can access another area through this place, right? Let's try not to jump down. A quick way to access the next area would be to just fall into the hole, but I would rather not do that. This is where I was before, right? I think. Okay, that's the boss area. No, it's not. That's the giant rat area, actually. So we can just slide down here, I believe. If you go right, you're gonna fall into a trap, so let's go left. And there we go. Pretty sure there was a better way to access that area, but, well. Are the rats going to attack me? They usually do. No, not this time. So I'm gonna heal them. And let's explore this area here. This entire area is basically optional. Oh, nice. Nice spacing there. Out of my way. Yeah. Pretty sure bigger rats have a higher humanity drop chance. We should be triggering the invasion by now. Somewhere around here. I have my white sandstone equipped because, as you've just seen, it turns grey when you are being invaded, so you can tell that the invasion has been triggered. And there he is. There. Let's get rid of this guy so he doesn't bother us during the fight. Face me, sir. Have you defeated the giant rat? I have, Cindy. I have done it, I believe, 2 streams ago. We explored some of the depths. Ooh, we can stunlock him with the greatsword. I want to parry him though. Oh, the damage. We have defeated the giant rat already. There we go. No chance. Dark Spirit Knight Kirk was vanquished. We get almost 6k souls from that. We get some humanity and the barbed straight sword. Not a guaranteed drop, I believe. The barbed straight sword and shield. The choice weapon of the infamous Dark Wraith Kirk, also known as the Knight of Thorns, or the gnarly spikes on his favorite weapon. This frightful sword deals only thrust attacks and causes heavy bleeding. Does it deal thrust damage? The item description says regular slash thrust, so I'm wondering if the regular slash attacks also deal thrust damage. It would be quite an interesting weapon to pair with the Leo ring if that were the case. Interesting. And it has the regular straight swords moveset, the same as the broadsword, which It's quite decent. It's good for combos. The combo attack, sorry, the strong attack combos nicely into the weak attack. Alright. Interesting. That was the NPC invasion, of course, that I've mentioned earlier. So we do have some online activity here since we have these guys, these petrified fellows here. And we also have that. Do I remember how to get to that area? Oh, no freaking way. Chat, are you seeing this? Is that a good vagrant or an evil vagrant? The good vagrant will run away, so I have to be fast. Ah, I think it was a good vagrant. It wasn't red, right? It was white. Yeah. No, there it is. It's an evil vagrant. Okay. Alright, so one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Let me pick this up. That's the second vagrant we get on stream, chat. That's crazy. We have to be careful though. That's quite the dangerous combination. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Hopefully the smoke can't reach me here. I need to get out of here. That's a bad spot. Okay, I got this guy. Let's get out of here. Good vagrants will run away from you and will disappear after a few seconds. Kind of like the crystal lizards. How did that not? Okay, then it's dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous. Interesting. He is not grave lorded. And I think there is some gameplay reason for that. I think vagrants will actually travel between... Oh, one hit. Yeah, that guy was weak. Okay, can you stop jumping around? Thank you. There we go. Alright. That's a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Let me take a moment to catch my breath. So like I explained earlier, vagrants, evil vagrants that is, will spawn once a player dies twice in a row and fails to retrieve their... Oh my lords. I'm just gonna... I can't shoot you in the face, but I can do this. You bastard. There. They will spawn from players who fail to retrieve their... Bloodstain is the word I'm looking for. If they keep going through multiple players' worlds and don't get killed, they will eventually become a grave-lorded version of that vagrant. That's what we found in the first stream, actually. We found a grave-lorded vagrant, which means that guy had been through multiple games, through multiple players, actually, and hadn't been defeated yet. This one, however, is quite a young vagrant. So this was possibly, you know, the first world that it spawned in, or maybe the second or third, I don't know. Also, they don't despawn upon death, which is interesting. We can have a closer look at it. So this is a vagrant, everyone. They look like an egg with crab arms. Quite interesting, quite defined indeed. And of course, obligatory lore mention, but the egg that... What's her name? Filianor holds in Dark Souls 3 looks suspiciously similar to a vagrant, you know. Which makes you wonder, what the hell is a vagrant? You know, lore-wise, what the hell are these? Humanity, alright. Are they... Well, there's another one. Are you kidding? They are possibly fragments of the Dark Soul which failed to find a host, you know. So that's why they are here, basically. Which would explain why Filianor is holding something which looks like a vagrant. Ring of the Evil Eye. Because she is holding what I believe to be the husk of the Dark Soul. Whatever little remains of the Dark Soul, right? And it's so frail that it breaks apart the moment we touch it. Quite a lot of lore going on this episode. This almost looks like a lore playthrough, you know? A proper one, at least. But yeah, there we go. Should I screenshot this? I am going. We screenshot this. Vagrant. I found a Vagrant and another one. Just for good measure. There we go. 2 screenshots. Found a Vagrant. Maybe we should... Excuse me for a second, chat. This is my thumbnail right here. What should we do? Should we point down? Let's point down. Then take the screenshots. Thumbnail, there. There we go. Let's turn it back on. Alright. So this whole area here has been explored. Now we did get a ring too. So let's read this ring here. Ring of the Evil Eye absorbs HP from fallen enemies. According to legend, this ring contains the spirit of the Evil Eye, a dark beast which assaulted Astora. The strength of the Evil Eye does not waver, and HP is absorbed from fallen enemies. So it's never clearly explained what monster is this that attacked Astora, right? But apparently it had the ability to absorb HP. May or may not be linked to the Dark Rapes. I believe in Dark Souls 2, the description of the ring and the description of this ring in that game says something in the lines of, the more you look at it, the more you see things which move in the dark or move in the depths, you know. Which, to me, hints at this being a beast from the abyss. But who knows? We've never been to Astora, unfortunately, in this franchise. A few people in chat watching, welcome everyone. You've caught us during... well, just before facing the... oh, excuse me. This is what I get for being distracted. You've caught us just before facing the Gaping Dragon. So let's burn this guy and this guy. Any shards? No, no such luck. Should we restock? We could restock on lightning spears, but I really don't feel like it, honestly. Here we have this fellow, and we also have this door. This suspiciously heavy looking door, which is locked away, and we have no access to it. So let's speak to this guy then. Quite a nice looking armor he has though.
Aye, Shemai.
Aye, Shemai.
I'm Donald of Xena. I'm just a peddler of sorts. I adore trinkets and oddities, so I trade for them.
Can I be real for a second, chat? I have no idea what Shemai means. I've never figured this out. If you could enlighten me, feel free to do so. And as I mentioned way earlier in this playthrough, we can learn the joy gesture from him. Because we start as a knight, therefore we don't have this gesture. If you play as any other class besides the cleric, you would see no option to learn a gesture from this guy. You would, however, be able to learn the pray gesture from Rhea, I believe. So there you go, gesture learned. What does this guy sell? Gold pine resin, interesting. Crystal weapons, which may be useful. These deal a ton of damage. They don't scale, I believe. They do scale, actually, so they are useful for quality builds. However, they cannot be repaired, so once they broke, that's it. You have to throw them away, basically. They are disposable weapons, basically. Very powerful, though. I believe I've seen this video of a guy trying to one-shot every single boss in the game. It was a challenge run, right? He could only advance through the game if he one-shot the bosses, and one of the late-game strategies to one-shot Calamite was using the Crystal Greatsword, but also, obviously, combining things like Power Within and the Red Tearstone Ring and the Leo Ring, and hitting a rolling thrust attack during one of Calamite's attacks in order to trigger a counter-attack, you know, which is an insanely combo, but it was quite powerful. Not enough to actually one-shot Calamite, as I recall, though. That boss has a lot of health. And he sells his armor, of course. Helm of the Wise, a strange helm from the ancient land of Xena, birthplace of the curious dealer Domhnall. The two horns are believed to symbolize wisdom. Then we have Armor of the Glorious. Again, same description except for the second paragraph. The many metals are believed to symbolize glory. And Gauntlets of the Vanquisher. The gold bracelets symbolize a vanquisher. And Boots of the Explorer. The inlaid silver rings symbolize an explorer. I love how each piece of this armor has a unique talisman to it. So they each represent a different concept, right? I've always wanted to set up some sort of fashion shows using this armor, but never got around to it. I probably should. Maybe on my low-level Sunbro character I'll do something like this. But alright.
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Nothing else. He does give you hints. Let's buy some more boats from him. We can buy a lot of boats actually. Let's not buy this many. Let's make it... Let me speed this up real quick. Make it 45 boats so we have 100 of them. Alright. You should have some different dialogue now.
Well, I'm certain we will make a good trade eventually. So I am willing
We've
to
just
try
made a
some
trade,
things.
man.
If you see kindling in the catacombs, use divine weapons. That will repel the reassembling skeletons.
Alright. So that's another way to learn how to deal with the skeletons, right? No more dialogue, alright.
Thank you. That was a fine trade. I have this funny feeling we'll meet again soon. And we'll make another fine trade, of course.
Alright. Quite a cheerful fellow. I like him. So let's make our way to the boss of this level. Again, look how this game uses sound so efficiently. We have sound around here, right? Yeah, we have water sound from this. Oh, not waterfall, but from this water which is falling through this water system here. My vocabulary is really not helping me here, but yeah. But as we approach this area, silence. And you don't see this happening, right? It's not something that you normally pick up on consciously, right? But it does affect you subconsciously. You approach this large area, this large arena, basically, and there is nothing but silence here to greet you, which is quite interesting. Setting up the mood for a boss fight, of course. And here we have a weapon, I believe. Or maybe not. Maybe I am misremembering it. Huh. Okay, never mind. No weapon then. Oh, there's a Sunbro here. Look at this. Lohan. Should we summon this guy? Why not, right? Why not? Let's summon him. And I am going to summon Solaire as well. We could summon Lautrec, by the way. His summon sign is right here, but I'm not going to because he's not that useful in this boss fight, and also Lautrec in general. So we got the heavy crossbow plus a few bolts. Greetings, my fellow Sunbro. How do you do? You are a mage though. Not sure I approve of that, but I'm willing to turn a blind eye. He is AFK, probably. Sir? Are you with us? Are you among us right now, sir? Possibly not. He left his summon sign and then skedaddled to make a sandwich or something. I was gonna summon Solaire anyway because it is a free gold medal, right? Every boss you defeat with the aid of a Sunbro nets you a sunlight medal, which we do need at least 10 of. Well, if he's not coming, we are pressing onwards. We are fighting the Gaping Dragon. Lightning damage would be interesting. Maybe I should do that actually. Do I still have the gold pine resin? I don't. I have one. Exactly one. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm using gold pine resin on my pure physical longsword. Try and cut the dragon's tail as big as possible. Using lightning against a dragon, just as the gods intended, you know? Dragon slaying, knighthood's highest calling, as a certain badass archer would say. Look at this ugly bastard, though. Quite an interesting boss design. A very interesting boss design, actually. Alright, let's do this. I am going to do some damage to his head, I suppose. He's going to charge forward, he is. Alright. So let's buff our swords and cut his tail. There we go. That's nice damage, actually. That's a grab. Let's not get grabbed by him. Solar going to town on him. That's a free hit on his right leg. Again, 3 hits. Oh, nice damage. Oh, that's the disgusting puke attack. Oh, and our fellow Sunbro is there. I've just realized. Oh, that damages my weapon, really? Do I have the thing that fixes weapons? I don't. Damn it. That's corrosive. I don't like it. Let me hit you, sir. Stop moving. Yeah, take this. It buffed his halberd, though. That's cool. Let's zap this guy once with Lightning Spear. Put the sun in Sunbro. And there we go. Praise the sun, my friends. This dragon was no match for 3 Sunbros. Twin Humanities, Homeward Bone, and a Sunlight Medal. And 25k souls. Wonderful. What's our weapon looking like? That's 176 out of 200 durability. Is that at risk? That's quite a lot of durability, actually. Or is some other weapon breaking? Oh, my Pyromancy Flame was breaking. 8 durability out of 30. Does this thing normally break? I've never fixed a Pyromancy Flame, I think, at the bonfire. Then again, I rarely play with Pyromancy, so maybe it does break and you have to fix it normally. Interesting. So here we have the hard leather armor, which is the warrior starting set. Nothing too special about it, I believe. Armor made of thick leather, very common type of protective gear. It provides a sound level of defense. Very cool looking armor, by the way. It looks very nice with the knight set as well, as you can see. The steel pauldrons match the gauntlets very nicely. It doesn't really offer any poise, unfortunately, although you can go for it if you're looking for a lighter set. We might use it if we decide to have a fast roll alternative, you know. And down here we have a giant chasm which leads into nothing. Treasure ahead, yeah, sure thing down, sure thing. There's a whole lot of nothing down there, as you can see. That's where the Gaping Dragon comes from, actually. I believe you can find the spot where he comes from later in the level. There is a chest with a dragon... Excuse me. With a dragon scale. But that's where it is believed that the dragon used to be, anyway. So we couldn't get any co-op, unfortunately. I've just seen the icon for the pyromancy flame almost breaking. So yeah, it was that which was almost breaking. We couldn't get any co-op unfortunately, but we did get... Well, we did get to summon someone at least, so there's that. And let's read the item for the Blightstown key. Blightstown key. Key to Blightstown from the depths... Excuse me. Key to Blightstown from the depths of the undead burg, swallowed by the gaping dragon. As its name suggests, Blightstown is a place of great pestilence. Even the polluted inhabitants of the depths are aware of its dangers, and built this mighty door in hopes that they could remain safely separated. Little alligator ahead. His head anyway, right? Looks like a little alligator. GG, thanks Cindy. Quite a fun boss fight, I love it. So quite the interesting lore implication here as always. The depths are bad enough, right? We have rats, we have basilisk which can paralyze you, petrify you. And it is told to us that only the worst inhabitants of the undead burg are cast down into the depths. And yet Blightstown is so worse that the people who live in the depths want nothing to do with that place. That's how bad it is. Such a cool way of letting the player know what they're getting into, you know. I really like the storytelling in this game. It's uncomparable in my opinion. But yeah, chat, unfortunately I think we are going to call it a day here. This was quite a lot of progress. We went to the catacombs, we went to the Tomb of Giants. You can indeed fix the pyromancy flame, I have just realized that, okay. We have traveled to the depths of the Tomb of Giants, we have saved Rhea. Sorry, I guess I'm a little late, that's alright Mateus, don't worry. It was quite the adventure, man. Feel free to check the VOD later. It was quite the adventure. We found another vagrant, by the way. That was interesting. And we've defeated the Stray Demon in the Northern Undead Asylum as well. Lots of interesting lore talk as well on this episode. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments later. But yeah, let me skip to the end screen here. Very interesting stream, guys. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did as well. Have I pressed the right button is the question I have. Alright. So people, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you would like to further support the channel, if you like lore content, like all the amazing lore we've discussed here today, feel free to check my channel. There is mostly just gameplay content there. There is one lore related video there at the moment, but there will be more in the future. Feel free to check it out, guys. And I'm also cutting these streams down into more digestible episodes so you guys can watch them more comfortably, so keep an eye out for that as well. But until then, guys, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you next time. See you, everyone.